I'd rather go and spend my time in class, keep developing myself, and then I got my first job. But I would say I started this journey, my ambitious journey, from the age of 10. That day I sat down and I started thinking, what does their father do? I didn't know what he does at the time, and then, I was told he is the CEO of a bank.
I would like you to share like a life transforming moment in your life, a moment that really changed a lot of things for you and like defined who you are maybe now or define who led to who you are right now. Because initially you said you used to be a banker and now you're a fashion designer and now you're just you're like doing a lot of things, entrepreneurship and fashion designing and full-time student, and you keep your energy level really high. And I know this thing just doesn't happen overnight. You don't just become something like that overnight, like a machine that's just getting things done, So I believe there was something that was like, that changed this thing, that changed who you used to be before. And now there's this new person that's like, you know what, I'm just going to go after all of my dreams. I'm going to go after everything I set my mind to go after. And if there's anything that you'd like to share with us, I'm really interested. And I believe the audience is interested.
Okay, so I would say I started this journey, my ambitious journey, from the age of 10.
Mm-hmm.
At the age of 10. So what happened? I'm from a humble background, proudly, and we went to visit some of our cousins. They lived in Highbrow area in Lagos, Victoria Island at the time. Their father was the CEO of a bank, at the time, and it was that it changed my life. So my cousin was having that birthday, and it was grand. It was like going to White House. I mean, not White. Well, going to White House or
Mm-hmm.
going to the palace.
I know the feeling.
Yeah. So we went there, and then it was a different world entirely. They live in affluence. It was like, and then when you get home and you're like, "Is this where I'm coming from?" It was just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That day, I sat down and I started thinking, what does their father do? I didn't know what he does at the time, And then, I was told he is the CEO of a bank. I said, okay, what did he study? I'm going to study what he studied. I'm going to write all the exams that he wrote. That's how I
Interesting.
I'm going to write all the exams that he wrote. I'm going to follow his steps. I'm going to follow his path, and I never looked back. So I learned that he studied accounting, but, he's a chartered accountant. So I started ICANN, because of him. I started writing ICANN exams from ATS level, so I learned that you can actually be a chartered accountant and study economics. Even if you study another course, you can still write ICANN and still be a chartered accountant, which is okay, can kill two birds with a stone. And then I started, that as well. So I studied economics. I was writing ICANN, and fortunately, he was born on my birthday, December 27. So we share the same birthday, So he was kind of like far, like he's not someone you can talk to. You know how our parents are like, you can never see him. It was impossible to reach.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? When I became vice president of economics department, I
Mm-hmm.
walked with him. And I invited him to come to Ife and speak. And he came. He,
Interesting.
yes, he came to Ife and he spoke. He was at my wedding as well. He's my mentor. He actually passed on 2 years ago. But before then, he's my, my hero, my mentor. He's well accomplished, in life. So apart from him, I started to tell myself, because I read his biography, and I saw that he was from a humble background as well, from a humble background, but he chose to, follow his dreams, pursue his passion. He went to Harvard University. He really did, what everyone else, couldn't do at the time. So because of him, he actually set the precedent. So when I graduated from college from Ife, my Saturdays and my Sundays was never for me. Like I go to class every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Even when I was still looking for a job, because I have hung around high flyers for a long time. I
Mm-hmm.
know my worth. I know my, and at that time, well, 11 years ago, I told myself, if an employer is not ready to pay a minimum of 100,000 at that time, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not ready. So I was getting offers. I'm like, look, keep it to yourself. I'd rather go and spend my time in class, keep developing myself,
Mm-hmm.
and then I got my first job. Was, something that was within what I, could take. So I started my first job. But I will go to work Mondays to Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays I'm in class.
Mm-hmm.
There is no time to gist or to go to parties or to engage myself in something that is not productive.
Mm-hmm.
So always been like that. Before I got married, I've always gone to, I'll go to work Mondays to Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays. Because I always tell myself back then that all the movies that I missed in my lifetime, I mean, growing up, all the
Mm-hmm.
movies I'm saying I will watch it in future. That's what I keep saying. Because movies, they won't, those movies will not die. Like they are
Mm-hmm.
still there to be watched anytime.
Mm-hmm.
I always tell myself that I will watch all these movies in future. Let me just work now. Because now that you are still young, you should toil when you are still young so that you can enjoy much later. And that has always and always kept me. So by the time I got married as well, it was still the same thing. And then when I moved here, and oh my god, that was crazy. When I moved here, I actually came to visit my husband in December of 2015. I
Mm-hmm.
came to vacation. I was a banker. So I went back in January. I spent a month here. So by the time I went back, I was pregnant with our first daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So I came back in June of 2016 to have my baby here, and I resigned from here. So when I resigned, I was like, okay, just take your time, let the baby come. The baby came. Do you believe that 2 weeks after the baby arrived, I was already looking for volunteer jobs?
Hmm.
Yes.
2 weeks after.
2 weeks after I'm like, I can't do this. I can't sit down at home. I cannot.
I know the feeling.
Yes, I'm like, no, no, no. I'm feeling useless right now. I need to. My potential. I need to work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Really my potentials. I can
You
do a
have to be
lot.
active, you have to be creative, you have to be productive. I know the drive.
So I was already applying for volunteer jobs, but the ones I saw, because we were staying in Hempstead at the time, which was about an hour plus from Houston. But the volunteer jobs I was saying were in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
It was too far, to commute and all that. So yeah, when that went aside, I started thinking of what I could do, and that was when I started to learn how to make clothes, and then set up my business. And then, from there, I started writing GRE, TOEFL. I needed to go to school. It was just time,
Mm-hmm.
like, just be doing one thing. I have to make sure that, I'm maximizing the use of my time, and,
Mm-hmm.
second counts, and it's really worth it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I've always had that drive, right from the onset. And,
Yeah.
growing up, even as a teenager, I didn't really have much friends because a lot of people cannot just understand me. What's wrong with this one? So, a lot of people,
That's very true. Yeah, if you're driven like that, a lot of people will understand unless they share the same mindset. And what you just shared is so powerful because it shows the life transforming process. But you also shared something that I think is fundamental, which is you knowing your what and making that sound decision in your mind that if a company doesn't pay me this, I'm not taking the job. That is, I feel like a lot of people need that kind of mindset because there's so many people that will be like, you know what, I've been around not having a job for too long. If a company is willing to offer me this amount, I'll just take it. So you just define the essence of knowing your worth. And I think that's fundamental. That's something everyone should really look into and start looking for ways to adopt that kind of mindset into their daily living. Do you have a favorite quote that you'd like to share with us?
Oh, I have a lot of quotes, but one, I'll just drop one. If you can't run, walk.
Mm-hmm.
You can't walk, crawl.
Mm-hmm.
You can't crawl, just keep moving.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that you are not stagnant. You're not staying put in one place. You
Mm-hmm.
are, because I was gonna say something. I hope you didn't just keep my memory. Okay, yeah. I This is outside of what you asked, but sometime last okay, this is a new month. Sometime last month, very late last month, I saw a quote that if you know that you're not from a silver spoon home as a Nigerian,
Mm-hmm.
if you know that you're not from a silver spoon home, make sure that when you go to the university, make sure that you come out with great grades. But I want to say something about that quote. Make sure that you build your network.
Okay.
Make sure that it is very, very key, because I have seen people with first class, earning peanuts or remaining jobless for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You for like endlessly in Nigeria, or getting peanuts, in Nigeria. But when you build that network, a solid network for yourself, people that you can call, hey, hello, I need this thing, I need this X. I have a lot of experiences I can share around that,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to keep it as brief. I want to
Yeah,
respect your
well,
time.
we have to bring you in 2 or 3 times more because you have so much value that I believe a lot of people could learn from. This thing you just shared on networking is what one of the most fundamental things this channel is based on networking. And you
Mm,
just prove the emphasis, you just emphasize the need, the importance of having a strong network. The networking is key, basically. Do you have any final piece of advice for young entrepreneurs and even maybe, who knows, people that are no longer young, but they're still working on themselves? Entrepreneurs, fashionistas, and maybe social media enthusiasts or content creators.
Very simple. Very, very simple. All I'll just say is never, ever, ever give up on your dreams. Your dreams are valid, and you should never, ever give up on them. Never. That's
Thank you
it.
so much, Miriam. It's a pleasure having this conversation with you. Thank you for coming on this channel. I appreciate you. We appreciate your presence. We appreciate all your insight and all your values. And dear viewers, the most important thing is for you to listen to this and take action. It's not just watching this video and just shutting down your laptop. No, watch this video, take notes, and take action. Very important. And until next time, when I'll be coming your way, always remember to be your best self. My name is Dapo Ibrahim. Take care, everyone. Bye.